Dear hosts, honorary professors, distinguished colleagues, dear students, ladies and gentlemen, it is a great honor for me to join you today. Although I am participating online and cannot be physically present in Tbilisi, I feel deeply connected to this gathering and very grateful for the opportunity to address such an inspiring audience. Conferences like these are always important for the academic and medical community, but today's meeting carries a deeper meaning. We gather here almost 4 years after Russia's full-scale invasion of Ukraine. 4 years that have brought immense suffering, uncertainty, the challenges for the Ukrainian people. And yet, despite all of this, here in Chernomtsi, students continue to organize medical conference. This fact alone speaks louder than many words. For someone observing from outside, it may seem incredible, even unbelievable. But it is real. It is happening today and tells the world something very important about Ukraine, about its academic community, and about its young generation. In circumstances where many would oppose, where many would lose hope, Ukrainian students and professors continue to move forward. They continue to study, to research, to teach and share knowledge. This is why this conference is more than just an academic event. It is a symbol of resilience, symbol of intellectual courage, and it's a symbol of the strength of the human spirits. As a professor from Georgia, and generally as one Georgian citizen, I also feel a special sense of solidarity with Ukraine. Our countries understand how valuable freedom, dignity, and independence are, and our academic communities know how it's important to continue building knowledge even when circumstances are difficult. Today, speaking to you from afar, I do not feel distance. On the contrary, I feel closeness, closeness to your determination, your courage, and your commitment to educate and science, and feel honored to be part of this important event. At the same time, it gives me immense pleasure to note that these results we are presenting today are outcomes of Erasmus Plus project SafeMed Plus, which ran from 2020 to 2023 and was co-funded by the European Union. Together with TMA and TSMU, two Ukrainian universities were involved in the project, Bukovina State University and Ternopil National Medical University. This consortium marked the beginning of the friendship between TMA and university, and I'm very pleased that this collaboration has continued even after the completion of the project. Akaki is sharing now the pictures of the project and some of the pictures that are next slide, please, Akaki. So this is our consortium who was running. So here, this is our consortium. You can see here two Ukrainian universities together with two Georgian and European universities. Next slide, please. So these were some pictures we took in Ukraine, by the way. It was like just before the war. So next slides come. So these are like our meetings in different parts of the world, and we are very grateful to this opportunity to have a chance to establish such kind of friendship with our universities. So this is like finalization of the project. And yes, next slides. We were capable to produce several books in Georgian, English, Ukrainian languages, Armenian language, so all the language of the consortium. Next slide, please. So these are our trainings, what we did, and later we tried to put in our OSCE examination centers, and the results will be later presented by my colleague, Akaki Sepashvili. Okay, thank you. So these are some pictures of this, whatever we got, we have learned from these are pictures from virtual OSCE, which was put on the place thanks to this project. Some equipments purchased by this project. Next slide, Akaki. Thank you. And finally, I would like to say that we had a very good friend of ours, Professor Natalia Lesinchuk, professor of Ternopil Medical University, who have passed away last year. So in honor, she's always in our hearts, and the loving memory of Natalia Lesinchuk, and we will always remember, and we are still having cooperation with her university. Next slide, Akaki. And so now, thank you. And before I will give the final floor for Akaki Sepashvili to discuss about this, I would like to address to the students of Bukovina University. Today, you Ukrainian medical students carry a huge responsibility under extraordinary circumstances. In the most difficult times, you do not allow endless sorrow, depression, or pessimism to define your future. Instead, you organize conferences, you create platforms for discussion, you bring together students, researchers, professors to exchange idea and scientific knowledge from different parts of the world. And by doing so, you send a powerful message to the world that education cannot be stopped, that science continues, and then pursuit of knowledge is stronger than fear. You remind us that medicine is universal language, a language of compassion, responsibility, and respect for human lives. You remind us that science builds bridges between people and nations. And allow me to say clearly, the international academic community sees your courage and respects your determination. Dear students, you represent the future, not only the future of Ukraine, but the future of the world and or the best parts of the world. Thank you very much for your for the chance to give me the floor. Slava Ukraini, Herom Slava, Akaki, now floor is yours. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Iya, so much. My greetings to our audience. Thank you so much for giving me the chance to present certain information regarding the OSCE and regarding the SafeMed achievements. First of all, my best regards to our Ukrainian colleagues from Bukovinian State Medical University. It was a pleasure to work with them during the SafeMed project. And now I'll briefly tell you about the results that we have achieved and what kind of a role did one of the roles that SafeMed made in for TMA. Very briefly telling regarding our clinical skill center, how it is arranged. Actually, it has four major parts to perform. Actually, it is organizing the OSCE, OSP, SOE, or virtual OSCEs. Also, we give the clinical skills training to students. As soon as I am the head of the clinical skills center, it's my pleasure to tell you briefly about the TMA clinical skills center part. Also, we are training standardized patients to involve them in different learning or exam processes, and also we try to develop the simulation medicine in Georgia, and we have participated in different Erasmus projects like SafeMed or LifeStrength, and we are applying some other projects as well. So we try to put our role in development of simulation medicine in Georgia as well. Very briefly, I will show you the images, how our center is arranged, what our students are doing, and that's it. And very briefly, telling about the major outcomes of the SafeMed Plus project. Actually, it was the implementation and development of clinical case-based OSCE stations in final OSCE. So we developed the final OSCE. We have implemented it in the end of the 12th semester, and we developed clinical case-based stations. And also we developed special checklists. It means electronic checklists that help us to save the papers and make the process more green. Of course, there are some other major outcomes of the SafeMed project, like the implementation of the virtual OSCE, or review and update of the competencies in CBME curriculum, or creating OSCE books that Professor Iya has mentioned before. But finally, I just need to speak about the e-checklists and how we have implemented it during our OSCEs. So this is I will briefly tell you what we did. It's just the results of the satisfactory questionnaires from the people, and I mean, most of them, of course, accepted this online checklists, and it is like we achieved the following goals: that it completely digitalized the OSCE assessment and scoring system. It saved enormous time. We are not using paper anymore. And of course, feedbacking system became more flexible, and it saved human resources. This is a screenshot of our checklist. This screenshot, I'll try to show you how our checklists are designed. Actually, of course, and I'll open the Excel file to discuss more about this checklist. So as you see here, it has some introductory part where we write down the student's name. So it is based on the Microsoft Excel, and it's very easy to use. Also, it has two parts, so for formative evaluation and summative evaluation. I will show it later. So there are two sections. It's like actions and references. So it's certain action and certain reference how this action should be done. And also each of the step of the checklist is let's say evaluated by three patterns, like performed, partially performed, or failed. This goes down, and finally the Excel can calculate after ticking each of the squares. The Excel is finally calculating and summarizing all the data, including the certain, let's say, coefficients of each of the step of the protocol, or if it was performed well or partially performed or failed, and after the summarization, it shows a final score. Now let me open the Excel file to show you the dynamics of the process. So this is, I hope you can see this shared file. And this is a checklist that I was showing as a screenshot. If you see here, we have quite many factors and many things in this checklist, at least 15 steps, and plus for the global scoring, we have one more step. Also, we have here for comment and feedback, special bar where you can just write certain comments. And finally, this scoring panel, where you can just tick the squares. It's very easy. And finally, the checklist is showing you the summarized point. We are training our evaluators and our teachers to use this checklist. As long as it is computer-based, we don't need to print the papers. We don't have to buy the quite expensive OSCE programs that really costs quite much. And also it's very easy to use because you can easily save it as a, let's say, PDF file. And send this PDF file to the student. And there will be a feedback, there will be scoring, in which step he got this, that, what kind of comments or feedback you are giving, and just write here the evaluator's name, and that's it. So this is our checklist, and we developed this checklist for quite many of the manipulations and procedures. So, for instance, this checklist is specifically for respiratory system examination. But we are using the checklist for many other manipulations and procedures, starting from a heart examination or some history taking or anything. You can just modify this according to the needs. And we developed and covered all our OSCEs using these checklists. And we are now working to use this Excel-based checklist on the pads. And then it would be absolutely possible to not to sit at the laptop and to just simply stand and observe the patient and use the pad to tick certain squares. Of course, everything can be remodified. There can be 5, 10, 100 squares here, and depends to the, let's say, fantasy, and depends to the protocol, how the OSCE is arranged according to the universities. I wanted to show you, so this was very small, nice, and very effective achievement to make the OSCE more green, to save many papers, to save human resources, to save money, to save costs, and just very easy solution of the big problem. And it is very, we have implemented it very well, and just wanted to share this experience. We made it like a small research, so we asked the satisfaction to our colleagues. They all agreed that it is fine, and they accepted very well. So, thank you so much for letting me take part in this wonderful conference. I wish very much peace and very much success to the whole Ukraine. Slava Ukraini, Heroyam Slava, and all let the light of science, education, human solidarity continue to shine. Thank you so much.